YouTube, what is up? Welcome back to the Radar for Rasslin Studios. Riding solo once again. Monday Night Raw just finished up. One takeaway for you guys from the show. Another lackluster Monday Night Raw for the most part. The stuff with The Miz, who is now your current WWE champion, was actually pretty well done. We continue to see the build of Bobby Lashley, the monster that is Bobby Lashley, as he makes his hunt towards WWE championship. A couple interesting things to go over. Some interesting things to go on with Ric Flair and Charlotte Flair. More confirmation on the pregnancy of Lacey Evans and Ric Flair not being the TV father of the child. We got a couple other things to get into, but for the most part, the middle of the show was pretty bad. It was bookended by two solid segments having to do with The Miz, Bobby Lashley, and Braun Strowman. So let's get into it with the one takeaway. Before I do, I want to remind you guys to drop a like and a comment on this. Helps us out with the algorithm, promotes more of our videos to you guys, and I'd like to hear you guys in the comments. Like to conversate with you guys, what you guys think about the current product, where you think it's headed, where you think WrestleMania is headed. Do you think Miz is going to stay champion? Let me know in the comment section below how long you think Miz is going to hold on to the title. Are they transitioning from the Bad Bunny stuff with The Miz and keeping him in the title picture as champion for longer? Let me know in the comment section below. I want to hear what you guys have to think about all this stuff. I want to hear your guys' opinions. Continue to grow the community. Appreciate you guys in the comments getting active in there. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. Notification bell as little new videos drop. Let's jump right into it with Monday Night Raw. One takeaway. Start off with Miz TV, your new WWE champion, The Miz. Get used to it. It's here for now, at least. It's interesting that the title didn't have the custom nameplates. People are saying this upside down M, but I don't know. Maybe they didn't have time to make it. Maybe it was a last minute decision and they haven't made the plates for him yet. But WWE likes to make money off of this type of stuff. They sell the side plates on the WWE shop. So eventually, if he's going to stay champion, he will get those side plates. But I just thought it was interesting. Maybe he's not going to have that long of a run with the WWE championship. So he's out there talking about how he's champion, how he's so good, and all that typical heel Miz stuff. But he also brings up the fact that he's the first superstar ever to be a two-time Grand Slam champion. So he's won every single major title twice over. So pretty amazing achievement for him in that. He gets interrupted by Bobby Lashley and MVP. And they're both, they made a deal. Basically, Bobby Lashley will beat up Drew McIntyre at Elimination Chamber, and he will cash in. Miz would and win the championship. But now Bobby Lashley is asking for his return on the favor, and that's the championship match against the Miz. So he's asking for. He says he's going to give the Miz an hour to make his decision. We will later on see at the end of the hour they will be in the ring with Adam Pearce. He will get interrupted by Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman pleading for a match because he was left out of the Elimination Chamber for a technicality due to the fact that the Chamber for Raw was all former WWE champions, and he's a Universal champion, technically not a WWE champion. So he was upset about that. It was supposed to be a match next week. Bobby Lashley versus The Miz for the WWE championship. Ends up having the chance to be a triple threat because Bobby Lashley will take on Strowman, and if Strowman wins at the end of the night, he'll be implemented into that triple threat and make that match triple threat next week for the WWE championship. So we'll get into that, but I thought the overall segment was well done. Bobby Lashley's run has been dominant ever since he started with the Hurt Business. It's been a tremendous run for him. They protected him, made him look extremely strong at Elimination Chamber in the triple threat match. He destroyed both guys, and he was not the one to get pinned. John Morrison was, so they had the fall guy in the match to keep Lashley strong. And obviously at the end where he attacked Drew McIntyre was obviously a big show of strength from Bobby Lashley and staking his claim as the guys getting back in the title picture. Remember, we saw the Drew McIntyre Bobby Lashley thing a few months back, like Backlash and stuff like that. So there's still some more into that story, and it seems like Bobby Lashley is set up to become WWE champion in the near future. Maybe next week we'll see what happens. But that was the way the show started off. So Strowman gets himself inserted into the picture, and he will take on Bobby Lashley at the main event to see see if he gets into the match next week, making a triple threat. Next thing on the show is John Morrison versus the new United States champion Riddle. Riddle won that match, so they just kind of had like a rematch, sans minus Bobby Lashley, because Bobby Lashley's in the title picture. But I thought it was a really good match. I thought it was good. It really showcased how good Morrison actually is. You kind of forget about it because he's in the stuff with The Miz, and the stuff with The Miz isn't all that great. All those Miz TV segments, and they're kind of like a joke a little bit. So it was nice to see him out here get a little bit of a shine. But Riddle was still able to win, and Riddle will continue on as the United States champion. Interesting to see how his journey to WrestleMania goes as US champion. Does Morrison get more opportunities there against them, and maybe at WrestleMania, or do they do a multi-man? Which I'm guessing maybe a multi-man United States Championship match. Maybe Riddle, AJ Styles, could be something like that we could see in the future for WrestleMania. Next thing the show is the New Day versus Retribution. If you watch my live stream for the review of Elimination Chamber, it's there, in the VOD, so you go check it out. I was really upset the fact that in the Raw Elimination Chamber, they kind of just left Kofi Kingston to do his own thing and didn't have Retribution to interfere whatsoever. They have the feud going on for a few weeks now, and they kind of just dropped it for the night. Then you get this match, T-Bar and Mace, Retribution taking on Xavier and Kofi and Xavier get the win. And then you have Mustafa Ali very upset with Retribution. So could this be the end of Retribution? God willing, it is, because Retribution is absolutely just horrible. It's a terrible, terrible group that's been booked horribly since they signed their contracts. But it looks like maybe that's the end of it. And Reckoning was back. Still no Keith Lee, but it was interesting. It's just, is this the end of Retribution? I know the storyline between New Day and Retribution hasn't been great. They dropped it for a night. Kofi Kingston went into the chamber, no target on his back from Retribution, no interference, no nothing, not even a presence of Retribution anywhere to be found. So, this will continue on, hopefully not, and it'll be the end of Retribution. We can get, Dominic Dijakovic, we go back into a solid role, maybe go back to NXT or be repackaged and brought back into the main roster. But we'll see what happens. Also, we have a little tease of Rhea Ripley coming to Monday Night Raw. It's confirmed that she's coming to Monday Night Raw, and it's kind of interesting because what happens later on with Asuka and Charlotte, she may play a role in this. But the next thing on the show is the Hurt Business versus Lucha House Party in a tag team match. You still have Lucha House Party still making the run at Hurt Business. Hopefully, maybe they'll get a tag team. Maybe they'll dethrone the tag team champions. I doubt it, but they need more tag teams. They don't have any tag teams right now on Monday Night Raw, and it's just you keep seeing this match over and over again for the most part. You had the Hurt Business hold on and get the win. So that continues. Benjamin and Alexander have been doing really well with each other. They had that little bit of a rift between them, but it seems to be okay. And they seem to be pushing Hurt Business better, more and more. And the breakup of Hurt Business seems to have died off. So next thing on the show was Angel Garza versus Damian Priest with Bad Bunny. So it seems like Angel Garza is being thrown into the mix a little bit more with this whole Bad Bunny and Damian Priest thing. All signs have been pointing to a tag team match at WrestleMania. So it could be Miz and Garza versus, Damian Priest and Bad Bunny instead of John Morrison. That's what it seems like, because John Morrison seems to be out of the picture here. You saw the Miz get slapped by Bad Bunny in Elimination Chamber. You have Garza taking on Damian Priest here. And then after the match, Garza takes the loss from Damian Priest. Damian Priest gets the win. You have a lot of the 24/7 guys come in, and you have Damian Priest kind of being the bodyguard to Bad Bunny, beating up guys. You had poor Drew Gulak getting thrown out the ring by Bad Bunny. So we'll see what happens. All signs seem to point to that tag team match, but maybe the participants may change a little bit in terms of Bad Bunny Priest versus maybe the Miz and Angel Garza. But Miz is still champion for now anyways. All right. Next thing on the show was Asuka and Charlotte versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. I don't know why they decided to do this match, but they did it anyways. It was not a good match. In the end, you had Charlotte inadvertently hit Asuka with a big boot and cost them the win in this match. And at the end, you have Charlotte consoling Asuka, going for the handshake. Asuka's not having any part of it. So obviously Charlotte's upset, so it's Asuka. She leaves, and she would go backstage and berate her father, Ric Flair, about the whole Lacey Evans thing. Lacey Evans is pregnant, seems to be pregnant in real life. They teased that it was like Ric Flair, the way he made it seem. He was dancing around, and he vehemently denied this in his defense against Charlotte Flair and this whole thing. Charlotte was very upset, saying that how could you do this? You're ruining my career or hurting my career right now. I can't focus because you're here. And the whole Lacey Evans thing, you made it seem like you were the father, and then he would deny that vehemently, saying that no, he didn't. He and not at one point said that he was the father, and made it seem like it, even though he did. So they're kind of backtracking on this whole thing. I thought they were going to go forward with the fact that Ric Flair was going to be teased as the father, and they were going to go that whole route. But good thing they kind of backed off of it here and kind of, did like a 180, and they're going back on it. So she said to Ric Flair, just go home. So hopefully we don't have to see Ric Flair anymore, and the whole Ric Flair, Sasha, Lacey Evans thing is just over and done with. It was a disaster from the start. Never really worked out that well, and hopefully it's gone for good. But it's interesting with the announcement of Rhea Ripley coming to Raw. What we could see is now there's an issue between Charlotte and Asuka. They may flip the title to Charlotte and have Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania is the thing I see happening most likely at this point in time, because Asuka's title has been so lackluster, been booked terribly. You have the feud between them beginning, there's animosity between the two over the tag team match, and then you have Rhea Ripley being announced coming to Monday nights. So we could eventually see that maybe at Fastlane they swap the titles, and you have Rhea Charlotte again at WrestleMania, this time for the Raw Women's Championship. So that'd be a pretty interesting thing there. Next thing on the show, we had a rematch of sorts from Elimination Chamber. It was Jeff Hardy going against Sheamus. Both men were in the Elimination Chamber. Both men lost. In the end, you have Sheamus winning. He's the bro kick and gets the win. So, we've seen these guys wrestle a lot, especially on SmackDown over that whole feud they had over the drunk driving thing and all that stuff like that, the alcohol abuse. So that's pretty much it. We'll see what happens with Sheamus. I don't know what happens. It was surprising. Again, in my review of Elimination Chamber, I talked about this. Sheamus being eliminated before being the final last two opponents for Drew McIntyre in the match in the Elimination Chamber was interesting. They built up Sheamus so much, and they ended up getting eliminated, and he wasn't part of the final two for the Chamber. So that was interesting. But they continue to build him. His path, as long as many other guys on the Raw roster is very shadowy as to where they're going to end up at WrestleMania time. So we'll see what happens with Sheamus going forward. Is Jeff Hardy as well. Next thing was Naomi, Lana versus Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke in a tag team match. Was not a good match, not good. But Naomi, Lana get the win. They were supposed to get, a tag team title match. I don't know what happened with that, and we'll see if that ever does happen. But it was not good. It was very short, very quick, and it just didn't really work out. It wasn't one of those matches that you probably should have built up, because Lana and Naomi are supposed to get a title shot, and who knows when that's gonna happen. Maybe it happens at at Fastlane. Maybe, but as of right now, we don't know, and it wasn't a good look for anybody in that match. Next thing was AJ Styles versus Ricochet. We've seen this match before. They had a feud for the U.S. title of like a year or so ago. So in the end, you have AJ Styles winning this matchup, and he's another guy you don't know what he's going to be going into for WrestleMania season. So it's a lot of interesting things they could do going into WrestleMania. Maybe they do Omos versus AJ in the end. He turns on him. We could see that happening. There's a lot of interesting things they probably do with AJ Styles. Hopefully he has a strong showing or a strong match at WrestleMania. Next thing on the show was that main event, Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. Braun Strowman wins. He gets put into the title match next week against The Miz. It becomes a triple threat. Miz was on commentary watching this go down. He's obviously very scared because he doesn't want to face either guy, because both guys are just huge. So, the match, I thought it was pretty solid. It's just all about building Lashley. Big power spots from Lashley with a lot of help from Strowman to get up in the air like that. But in the end, Bobby Lashley is the winner. His takeaway, number one, the only takeaway of the night, at the end, you would see Bobby Lashley put the full Nelson on Braun Strowman and really dominate him, and then attack Miz as well. So it's a continuation of showing this guy super strong going in. Now he has the match. It's a singles match now next week, because he won this match. It'll be him versus The Miz, WWE Championship next week. I'm assuming Drew McIntyre gets involved. He has issues obviously with both guys, but he probably doesn't want Lashley winning the title. He wants to take it off The Miz. So what I think will happen is that most likely this match will go down. There'll be disqualification because of Drew McIntyre getting involved. He was not there this week, but he'll probably be there next week, get involved, causing a triple threat to happen at Fastlane, and that's when they can get the belt off of Miz, and then have probably Lashley versus McIntyre at WrestleMania and put the Miz back into the Bad Bunny thing. That's the way I see it playing out. It seems the most likely way for it to happen. And, the Hurt Business right now is probably the best thing on Raw. Bobby Lashley is the hottest superstar right now on Monday Night Raw. The strongest, obviously, the way they're protecting him, the way they're keeping him super strong. And it's a really good build for him. I've enjoyed it, and it's really well done, the build of Bobby Lashley to the point he's at right now, where he's such a monster. He's so dominant. So, that's what I think is going to happen. I think Drew McIntyre will get involved next week, cost the match for Lashley, and then do the triple threat at Fastlane, and then that sets up Lashley McIntyre WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Miz right now is kind of a transitional champion. It's just to get Bobby Lashley involved, and then they can eventually make the swap. But the build, just like you see behind me, you see him manhandling Braun Strowman. It's just to build him more as an absolute unstoppable monster, similar to Brock Lesnar. They've done a tremendous job of building him this way, and it'll continue in the next few weeks. But we'll see that flesh out as WrestleMania gets closer and closer. So that's the review. That's the one takeaway from Monday Night Raw. That's the way the show ended. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of Monday Night Raw. It wasn't that great of a show, but I thought Lashley and Miz were well done. So let me in the comment section below what you think about Lashley. Do you agree with me that triple threat will happen at Fastlane, and at WrestleMania it will be Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship, and Miz will be in the Bad Bunny situation? Or do you think something else is going to happen? Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if it doesn't work for you, bro, do not do the job.